Saul, Saul, why are you persecuting me? These are the words of the risen Jesus to Saul on the road to Damascus. Now, this encounter changes the whole trajectory of Paul's life. Because of it, he becomes one of the primary figures of the spread of the gospel in the first century. He's particularly effective in spreading the gospel beyond Judaism to Gentiles. In fact, a lot of us are here today in part because of the work that Paul did. Now today, in the lectionary, we have a powerhouse combination of readings. In addition to Paul's conversion, we also have the words of Jesus at the Bread of Life discourse. Now at first, it might just seem like there's no relation to these two. But let's take a closer look. Jesus, in Acts of the Apostles, asks Saul, "Why are you persecuting me?" He identifies himself with his church. He identifies himself with us. Now note his words in the gospel reading. "Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains in me, and I in him." Now this is why we call the Eucharist communion, because it both celebrates and enacts this union by which Christ identifies himself with the church. The very union he talks about in Acts of the Apostles, on the road to Damascus. Now Saul himself will come to know all about this identification of Christ with his church. And as we see in 1 Corinthians, he'll also come to have a deep understanding of the implications of Eucharistic communion. Now as for us, these words, both from Acts of the Apostles and from the Gospel, should at one and the same time give us comfort and humble us. They should comfort us because in our task of loving and spreading the gospel, Christ is always with us. We're not alone. Yet they should also humble us in the realization that in all our actions and interactions, there's always more going on than meets the eye.